saying about this is kind of where a lot of our magic happens. You can see we have a nice indoor arena with plenty of space. We've got all the accoutrements you could ever want to change up the different rides each day. We've got the poles, the vertical and horizontal poles for both needs and different styles. And then there's of course little like sensory things around the outside here too. There's little boxes where we play games and hide things or move them from one side to the other and all that. So lots of goodness in here. We also have a mounting ramp that is amazing for our clients that maybe can't hop onto a horse by themselves. We bring them up on the side and the horses meet them right here in the middle with sidewalkers on the other side and bring them on nice and safe and sound.
Yeah, none of our, unlike what most people see in movies, none of our clients mount from the ground because of a lot of the potential physical disabilities that a lot of our clients have. So between this mounting block and the one inside the arena, it safely allows them to put them at a horse height so that they can literally just swing a leg over and then sit down on a horse rather than trying to hoist themselves up from the ground. So makes it a little safer and a lot more convenient.
And then you can kind of see through the windows over there's an observation room. So if our clients have family members that come along and don't help out during the sessions in any way, shape, or form, which a majority of our clients have no one from their family that is in the session with us, they'll stay in there and hang out and they can watch and see what's going on. You can kind of see out through the back there too. There's an outdoor arena that we do some of our work in when it's not too hot, not too cold. You know, the weather has to be just right for us to be out there.
Which is nice because in November we're not usually outside at all, so it's really great today.
Yeah.
Our observation room also equals a part-time physical therapy room. So two of the agency partnerships we have are with UC Health Memorial Hospital and then also Children's Hospital, Colorado. So 3 days a week we have physical, occupational, and a speech therapy program where they actually bring out their own therapist and do partnerships with their clients on a horse that we provide. But they also provide some of the sessions physically off the horse in that room as well, since they're obviously away from the hospital for a normal session. So agency partnerships, so those make up mostly our post program. Those are the two post agency partners that we have. Most of all of our adaptive riding clients are all individuals that have been referred to us from different places. But mental health wise, we have a very lengthy list of partnerships, at least for agency partners in that sense. We partner with Cedar Springs, Fort Carson, Evans Army Hospital, the Department of Corrections, youth and normal. And then we also have like Griffith Centers. The list can go on and on and on and on as to where we have agency partners. And then we have several other sponsorship partners that also sponsor us as well, from Taco Bell. We also have Mountain Country. We have First Bank, Biggs Crawford. I mean, we have agency partners organization-wise that just donate to us, go upwards into the 50s. So we have a whole slew of partners in all forms.
A lot of this is donated from humans. You know, they're either getting rid of it for they got rid of their horses or they just don't need the tack anymore, but they donate it to us, and obviously we try to take really great care of it, and everything gets cleaned after it's used and before it even gets put back in here. As you can see, we also have buckets for each of the different horses so that there's no like transfer of bacteria or getting any of the horses sick just from grooming or any of that. But yeah, a lot of people that have horses, they walk in this room and they're just like, I've never seen so much tack.
Yeah,
like this is phenomenal.
This is a big tack room, but we, because of the clients that we serve, we have a lot of abilities, disabilities, balances. And even with the horses that we have, very much like human bodies, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. We have small horses and big horses and different, like humans are different size pants and shirts. It's same with saddles, pads, bridles. So we have to have quite an array of tack to fit not only our riders, but also our horses as well and make sure everybody's comfortable.
It functions and moves just like a horse, and it gives you that same kind of riding feeling as if it's a regular old horse underneath you, even though it may not be.
Most of our clients that come here haven't had any prior horse experience before this, so sometimes talking to a big 1,200-pound animal like Teddy, even though he's the sweetest boy there is a little daunting, especially when most of our clients are about this tall, so it makes it a little bit more helpful.
So in 1981 is actually when we started existing as a program. Gay O'Rourke, who's our founder, was hearing from the local hospitals and community that there just was no equine therapy and know where to do anything of the sort. And so he was like, I'll go ahead and like start a program. So in 1981, we kind of kickstarted, and at the time it was Pikes Peak Therapeutic Riding Center. So that was kind of just the very beginning, the kickstart of it all. And 40 years later, here we are. We're still doing it, and it's all about finding that connection to a horse. And a lot of people may not grow up with horses or even know that they can provide the therapies that they do. And when people find us, it's just like magic happens. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's beautiful.
So previously, we actually have had two different name changes overall. We originally started off as Acts 1911, and if you've ever looked that up, it's Faith in Your Miracle Happening is kind of the main summary of that one. So that was the original one that it was founded under from Gay O'Rourke. That transferred over to Pikes Peak Therapeutic Riding Center, which just was a little bit more explanatory of the services that were offered at that time, which is we typically offered adaptive riding services is where we started. As we grew though, we started off with our riding services, so our post-program and therapeutic riding or adaptive riding. But when we added on the mental health side of things, people didn't actually know that we really offered mental health services because our whole name said Riding Center. And our mental health services actually don't do any riding. It's all 100% groundwork with the horse. So we actually changed to Stable Strides in January of 2018. And that was just to be more all-inclusive of all the services that we happen to offer, rather than people only thinking we only offered riding services. And a lot of people actually thought we just offered regular, normal horse riding lessons, that we weren't actually geared towards people with disabilities or that needed specific type of help in any area. So this was kind of Stable Strides, kind of encompassed all of our programs and was more explanatory of every single thing that we offered program-wise.
Well, very intuitive animals, like we were discussing outside. They're kind of like a mirror almost. If you come in and you're having a bad day, they're going to pick up on it and probably be a little standoffish with you too. And it's finding that boundary, that like beautiful connection with the horse, setting those connections of, ooh, the horse's ears are back, maybe they're upset, like starting to read those body language things and whatnot. And I think it's easier to do that with an animal and like learn those things and see it for some people rather than doing it with another human. That can be terrifying. I mean, humans can speak back and tell you things you don't want to hear, whereas the horse, they'll just react, and kind of tell you, oh, nope, I don't like that. And then you've learned, Yeah.
The therapy services that we provide are a lot more experiential rather than just a sit and talk, like a talk therapy. So you're actually, all of the therapy or the program services that we provide are all actual experiential therapy. You're actually out and interacting and doing something. So most of the time you don't actually even realize that you are in therapy. It just kind of naturally comes up as you're actively working with a horse. And as Erica said, the intuitiveness of horses is sometimes very hard to put into words. Typical humans have kind of a personal bubble of a couple of feet, so to say. Horses can actually pick up on emotions as far as 60 feet out. So between the herd and other people and everything that you're feeling, they can pick up on, are you actually feeling how you're feeling, or are you hiding and not saying those kinds of things? So a horse will very much, again, either mirror your emotions or react and show you what you're feeling without you kind of even thinking about that. So being able to kind of have that visual representation of what a client might be going through, and they're now able to actually see that happen and see that occur, kind of gives them a little bit more insight in at least that mental health world. On the adaptive riding or the post side, so physical, occupational, or speech therapy, the actual movement of a horse is the closest mimicry to a human movement. So if you think about sitting or watching a horse walk, so to say, they actually have the same hip movement almost as humans do. So for a lot of those riders that potentially have physical therapy issues or mobility issues with their legs, their torso, their core, anything like that, it actually can mimic that and start reconnecting nerves and neurons and getting the brain thinking that it's actually walking, and kind of doing the work to actually bring back some of those things that a lot of clients have sometimes lost over the years.
Yeah, so we do physical, occupational, and speech therapy, as Brittany was just saying. So, of course, the natural physical therapies, anybody who might have had an injury of some sort just coming in and relearning how to use it, the muscles or part of their bodies that they're working on. Occupational therapy, same thing. It could be somebody got hurt at work and they need to be able to move their body in a specific way, and they're just kind of retraining their body how to get there. And then people are always like, well, how do you do speech therapy with a horse? But it takes a lot of diaphragm work and core work to speak, and like all the muscles it takes to like project louder. You know, a lot of people that are building confidence or whatnot might be too quiet and mousy, and it's all about learning to open up the body and take up more space and build those muscles to be even more boisterous if you want to, or work on those beautiful motions that our bodies all need. But beyond those, we also do the mental health therapy sessions, which is a little bit different than the post stuff. Mental health may not every time come in and work specifically with the horse, as we were kind of talking about outside. It might be a sit-down therapy session just with your instructor and therapist that day. And then we also do adaptive riding for all different types of humans. There could be someone who's a quadriplegic that's coming in to ride a horse, and it's all about figuring out how to get them on there safely and giving them that opportunity. It's pretty fantastic. So many different layers of all the things happening all the time here.
With a lot of our programs too, we don't necessarily have an age limit or a limited diagnosis. We have clients in our post program as young as 2 years old that are coming to us and starting in programming. And the oldest clients we've had have ranged always into their upper 90s. So age range doesn't matter, ability or disability doesn't matter. We have anywhere clients coming in that are suffering from anxiety, depression, PTSD, any types of trauma, sexual trauma, suicide. All of our services, especially no matter what program, is all geared towards suicide prevention. So everybody could say that everything could lead to eventual suicide. So everything is geared around that, no matter the program that they happen to be in. But same thing we have traumatic brain injuries and paralysis from car accidents. We have people with MS, Alzheimer's, all these different kinds of things. So it doesn't really matter their diagnosis. We have a program that could benefit them in some way. Our post programs, to kind of talk about how the staff kind of go into that sense. Post programs, all the services are provided by a licensed therapist from one of the hospital partners that we work with. So again, Children's Hospital Colorado or UC Health Memorial, they provide the official therapist to us depending on what area or program that they're working on. We just provide the instructor. So all of our instructors are considered the horse experts in all of our program. So they are actual PATH, the Premier Accredited Therapeutic Horsemanship International. So it's a very, very long name, but they are all PATH International certified instructors. So they all go from the highest level of training to make sure that we're providing the safest services for all of these clients. So all of our instructors across the board are set that way. Adaptive riding is only taught by a riding instructor, so a certified riding instructor through PATH. And then all of our mental health services are actually, our instructor is an equine specialist in mental health and learning, still PATH certified. And then we also have contract therapists stable strides therapists for our individual sessions. The groups and agency partners that we work with, such as Cedar Springs or Fort Carson, they will actually provide a therapist that is working with us. Basically meaning like the Fort Carson, they see a therapist throughout the course of a week. That same therapist will come with them to the equine therapy session as well. So it's kind of, there's a multiple team faceted approach to pretty much everything that we happen to offer. So one of the very first ones, when I first started here, I was just newly certified as an equine specialist. So on top of being development director, I'm also dual certified. So I am a CTRI, so a certified therapeutic riding instructor, and an ES at the same time. But I had just recently started working with some individuals in some of our mental health sessions. So we actually had this one gal coming in. Her and her husband had been previously deployed and had recently returned, and they were going through a very hard kind of communication issues with their marriage. Coming back from any of our active duty service members or veterans, coming back and you're suffering from PTSD is obviously, there's so much that you have to deal with when you're overseas or deployed, that coming back is obviously a whole new wide opening world. But they were struggling with communication issues, and over and over and over again, she's just like, I just don't know how to get him to open up, but every time he opens up, it's very aggressive and it's very hurtful, and then I just feel like I can't talk, and she's like, I get scared. there was one time that he ended up coming to one of the sessions, and it was suddenly this big aha moment, and they were actually working with Teddy. Teddy is probably our most intuitive horse I have ever seen. He picks up in 2.5 seconds on exactly the kind of person that you are, and he'll either love you or hate you or not want anything to do with you. But it was really interesting because she had grown a really good bond with Teddy. Was always very close. Teddy always wanted to be cuddled with her and wanted pets and very, very close to her. And when her husband joined in on that session, Teddy was on the opposite side of the entire arena, would not come remotely close to them. It was just like, nope, I don't want to do it. I don't want anything to do with you. And she tried calling and begging and all the things and wouldn't come over. And the husband tried, and then the husband got frustrated, and why wasn't he coming over? You tell me he's so friendly. And after probably about 30 minutes, the husband suddenly had this aha moment. He's like, wait a minute, is this how you feel every single time I come home or every single time I step into the house? Like, is this how you feel? Like, you just don't want to be near me and you want to be away? And all of a sudden, my wife's like, but yes, like, you get it now. Like, this is exactly how I feel. And after that, it was leaps and bounds, and doors were opened, and they went on for several more sessions after that. But it was one of those ones that suddenly seeing in a different light how that all kind of came together was very mind-opening. But on an adaptive riding side, or even I guess I should say a post side, we actually just had this gal speak at our Miracles in Motion fundraiser that we just had in October. But Brittany Barker, she was in a very traumatic car accident about a year ago. She was very, very active in community, had jobs, was working all the time and doing all these things, very, very, very vibrant. Was in a car accident where she actually ended up being paralyzed from the neck down, and it completely changed her entire life. So after that car accident, she obviously lost the use of legs, arms, just about everything that she did. She was now in a wheelchair. Obviously a complete change of life and a lot of adjustments. She actually found our program pretty quickly, not long actually after that accident. She was part of our UC Health post program, but she recently spoke out at our Miracles in Motion event and was, I think the whole entire 200 some people in that room were all in tears by the end of it. But in that span of that year, from then until now, she actually rides Bonus, that's her horse that she rides. She has now gained almost full use of her arms, and she has also started getting feeling back into her legs. So she can't physically move them yet, but she started getting at least sensation back in her legs, so she can touch and she can actually feel again, which before that probably never would have happened. So
she says every time she comes to ride, she leaves here with more feeling than she did when she gets here, which I think is amazing. That's so cool. So we have like our annual fundraising event, which is the main one that we do every single year, called Miracles in Motion. It's happening in August this coming year. We just had it in October this last year at Boot Barn Hall, and we're having it again at Boot Barn Hall this year, which we're really excited about because it was so much fun this last year. But it's just a night of fun. We have a live band usually come out and play throughout the night. There's a silent auction, a live auction. You get dinner, dancing with the band if you want to, all sorts of fun things.
It is very much an old-fashioned barn party. Like, this is not like a dress up. This is like wear your boots, wear your jeans, let's go dancing type of thing. So this was actually our very first year ever having it at Boot Barn Hall, and it was probably the most beautiful venue I've ever been in. This past year, we actually had a live bluegrass band. So it's Grass It Up was the band that played for us, and they played for us the last 2 years, I believe, after that. But we had over 30 silent auction items, some really good things that our community members have donated and stuff like that. Several paintings even. Our part of our live auction that we had, we have a famous cake auction as part of our live auction. So these are cakes that local bakeries and community members, we actually had one of our staff members bake her famous like Hawaiian cake. Our staff member's cake went for $1,600. So when I say our famous cake auction, like, we actually have donated cakes to us that you would typically see in a normal bakery of like 30
like a
to
sheet
40.
cake, $50 sheet cake, right?
Yeah, something like that. They'll go for anywhere. I think their most expensive cake ever went for $4,700 for one of our fundraisers 2 years ago. So
and they'll just put it right down on the table and eat it.
and just share with everybody. So our cake auction, usually the big one of the live auction, we usually have a horse sponsorship up for that. This year, Brittany Barker, our client presenter for Miracles in Motion, she also had a painting that she put in that actually one of our board members ended up winning. So we have a really good, fun night. So that's usually our biggest event of the year. We do have several smaller events throughout the year as well. We typically have our special rodeo every June or July. We actually partner with Colorado Springs Therapeutic Riding Center to do that, so it's a chance that all of our riders and stuff like that get to go out and compete in our own rodeo that is obviously made for them. So they actually do community events like barrel racing and pole bending, and they do all those kinds of things. So that one was a super, super fun one. This past year we did a volunteer appreciation event at the Rocky Mountain Vibes baseball game. So we got to all go out for a community night for that. We also have our trunk or treat event that usually follows the weekend of Halloween or right before Halloween. So we actually line up a whole bunch of cars and stuff like that are decorated for Halloween. Everyone goes into costumes, including Teddy. Teddy was a ghost last year and a clown this year, so he is usually. We also have unicorns.
We had a couple unicorns this year. Misty and Sapphire were our unicorns this year.
Yep. So we get all decorated up, and then it's obviously during daytime hours, so it's a lot. Sometimes it's the safer option that usually families like to bring their kiddos to do some trunk or treating. So we usually have that one as well, and then we're going to be adding a new event this year as well, but date and time and all those kinds of things to be determined. We're going to be adding another one. So we have lots of things that happen throughout the year. We have on our classes, we have about 150 to 200 active volunteers every single week that help out just in classes alone. So at any of our 3 locations, that could be leading a horse in class, sidewalking, working in some of our mental health sessions, holding and handling horses. We have some Heather that you mentioned, or that you got introduced to. She's actually a team lead. She helps set up all the tack and help tack up horses. No horse experience is ever required, by the way. You can come in literally knowing absolutely nothing, and we provide every single ounce of training and getting used to all those horses. We also have a garden program that we started this year as well. So we have community garden volunteers that'll come out and help us tend to the garden, plant new things, harvest things, take care of it and build it. So that'll be coming even more so in 2022. We have facility and maintenance volunteers as well. So we had 2 this summer that came out and mowed the lawn for us once a week, just because it's obviously such a big property. We also have ones that come in, volunteer groups that'll come in and just help with the upkeep. No matter what barn you walk into, there's always something that needs fixed or repaired, just like owning a house. So constant fixing of those kinds of things that volunteers can help out with. And that list can go on and on and on.
We have administrative staff volunteers that come in on the weekend and
Yep, that is great. She helps with paperwork entry and stuff
literally
like that.
anything that you could think of to do, we would be happy to have
we
volunteers for it.
We always have something.
If your skill is sewing, we'll take it. We'll figure out what to do.
We have blankets to repair, so that horses destroy just like clothes and things like that. Donation-wise and stuff like that, we have a lot of different outlets and ways that people can donate back to us, even outside of their general time. Obviously, any type of monetary donation will obviously go a long ways, and we have sponsors and stuff like that sponsor horses and different aspects of our arena and things as well. But we also have different ways that people may not usually know about. For example, if you go and you shop and buy groceries at King Soopers, you can add us as a charity, and then the proceeds from every single time you go grocery shopping come back to Stable Strides. Last quarter alone, we received over $1,000 from people just buying groceries that we were attached to.
From your everyday tasks.
Yep. So we're set up on Amazon Smile. We have our own Amazon wish list. Coming up starting tomorrow, we're setting up all of our holiday decorations in the barn, and all of our horses have wish lists themselves. So they all have little stockings that they're hanging up on their stalls of this, they would like this, or they would like this. So we have different ways that they can support. Usually the horses is where everybody wants to go type of thing. But we have a lot of different ways. We even also have our own apparel line. So if you're on our website at all, we have our own apparel store. 20% of all those proceeds come directly back to us. We even have our own coffee brand.
Currently partnered with Dogtooth Coffee, and they have an Americano blend spelled A-M-A-R-E, Americano. And it's owned by a family that actually leases a couple of our horses to us over at our other location, and they're just so phenomenal. It's all the proceeds from the Americano blend come back to us, and through the end of this year, they're doing a portion of the proceeds from all of their coffee sales coming back to us too. So.
Yeah. So even if you just like coffee, just go buy that brand and then you're set. If you're literally just Googling us, usually our website has the majority of the information for people to get connected on all of our programs. Avery is our adaptive services director, so she handles all of our post programs and our adaptive riding program. Chester is our clinical services director, so he handles our mental health programs. If they're looking for physical, occupational, or speech therapy programs, those all are 100% referrals through one of our hospital partners. So Children's Hospital Colorado or UC Health Memorial. They just need to get with whoever their therapist is and connect them to an equine therapy program, so that's pretty easy. Adaptive riding, just feel free to give us a call and Avery will go ahead and talk with you, see if you're a good fit for the program, see how we can get you partnered with us. Mental health, there's a variety of different ways. Most people get referrals from agency partners that we have out in the community. Their own therapist, doctor also has referral options for us as well. We also partner with Wounded Warrior Project, so if people are going through that as well, then they can easily get referred to us in equine therapy programs, or again, just calling us or going on our website and filling out I'm interested in services, and Chester will connect you and see how we can get you in. But we do have a brand new executive director, Jason, who you guys met as he was walking in. We do have a whole strategic plan that we have that is currently set up for the next couple of years, but Jason literally only just started October 1st. So we're trying to let him get settled in just a little bit before we dig into our pie in the sky kind of dreams and goals. But we're definitely just making sure that the biggest thing is that we are staying open and that we are providing as many services to as many people as possible. So every single donation, every single volunteer, every single staff member we have here, our number one goal is just to make sure, even coming out of or still kind of being in the pandemic, that at no point are we not able to provide services to those in need, and constantly growing programs, bettering our facilities, and making sure we're more accessible to every single person is number one priority over just about anything else. So I would say kind of our biggest focus right now, obviously it's the year-end time when we're kind of giving thanks for everything that has happened over the last year, and obviously between 2020 and 2021, a lot has happened worldwide, so obviously we know we're not the only ones kind of impacted by that. But especially kind of going into that year end and people giving thanks and looking back on past year and looking forward to what the next year is. We do have our whole big fundraising year end campaign like a lot of nonprofits and other organizations do around this time of year. And to make sure that we can keep providing every single service that we offer and making sure that we don't turn a single person away, no matter their age, race, diagnosis, anything like that. We have a pretty lofty goal of raising well over $150,000 this year. Right now we're well over about a third of the way to that, so we have a really good progress, but definitely our big focus is making sure that to keep doing what we are doing and the services we offer, we need to be able to keep our doors open, and very much like everybody else, we were all impacted by COVID, and it's something that we just want to make sure that we never have to close our doors or turn people away from this. So